Fill your mind with positive thoughts. Stoic mindset. If this is speaking to something deep inside you, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists for people who are done settling, who are ready to think differently, live deliberately, and build a life of true inner strength. New Stoic wisdom every week. Don't miss it. Crosswords, the war inside your mind. Right now, at this very moment, there is a war happening inside you. Not a war with your enemies. Not a war with the world. A war with your own mind. And most people are losing it. They wake up and the first thought is dread. They scroll through their phones and absorb anxiety. They replay their failures before breakfast. They rehearse arguments that will never happen. They imagine disasters that will never come. And then they wonder why life feels so heavy. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they understood something that modern psychology is only now catching up to. Your thoughts are not facts. They are choices. And the moment you understand that, truly understand it, everything changes. Today, we are going to go deep. We are going to talk about how to fill your mind with thoughts so powerful, so positive, so anchored in wisdom, that fear, doubt, and negativity simply cannot survive in you. This is not positive thinking in the shallow, bumper sticker sense. This is Stoic positive thinking. Ancient. Tested. Unbreakable. Stay with me. This video could be the turning point you have been waiting for. And if this is your first time here, welcome home. Subscribe right now. This is where real mental transformation begins. Crosswords Part 1. Why your mind is filled with negativity. Before we talk about how to fill your mind with positive thoughts, we need to understand why it is filled with negative ones. Because the answer is not what most people think. You are not negative because you are broken. You are not negative because life has been too hard. You are not negative because something is wrong with you. You are negative because your mind is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The human brain has what scientists call a negativity bias. We are wired, literally wired, to notice threats, problems, and dangers more than we notice beauty, opportunity, and goodness. Why? Because for hundreds of thousands of years, survival depended on it. The ancestors who paid attention to danger survived. The ones who focused only on the flowers got eaten by lions. So your brain is not broken. It is ancient. It is doing its job. But here is the problem. We no longer live in a world of lions and predators. We live in a world of abundance, opportunity, and relative safety. And yet our minds are still scanning for threats, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Social media is designed to exploit this bias. The news is built on it. Every notification, every headline, every comparison, feeding that ancient fear response. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wrote this while leading Rome through war, plague, and betrayal. He was not ignoring reality. He was choosing which reality to focus on. That is the first and most important distinction in this entire video. Positive thinking does not mean pretending bad things don't exist. It means choosing, deliberately and consistently, to focus your mental energy on what builds you rather than what breaks you. That choice is available to you. Right now. In this moment. The question is, will you make it? Crosswords Part 2. The Stoic Practice of Morning Intention. Seneca wrote, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." The most powerful mental transformation you can make begins before you ever speak a word. It begins in the first moments of your morning. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phone. Within 60 seconds, their mind is filled with other people's problems, opinions, and agendas. They have surrendered the most important real estate of the day, the fresh, open mind of early morning, to a device designed to capture and hold attention. The Stoics did the opposite. Marcus Aurelius began each day with what we might call a morning meditation. He would sit, before the court, before the generals, before the demands of empire, and he would set his mind. He would remind himself of his values. He would prepare himself for difficulty. He would choose the thoughts he would carry into the day. This practice is available to you, and it costs nothing but a few minutes of intention. The Stoic morning practice, step by step. Step 1. Silence before screens. When you wake up, do not touch your phone for at least 30 minutes. Give your mind the gift of quiet. Let it arrive slowly into the day. Step 2. Set your intention. Ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Not what you want to accomplish. Who you want to be. Patient. Focused. Kind. Disciplined. Grateful. Write it down. One word or one sentence. Make it real. Step 3. Prepare for difficulty. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Before the day begins, acknowledge that things may go wrong. Someone may frustrate you. Plans may fall apart. The unexpected will happen. By acknowledging this in advance, you remove its power to derail you. You have already decided how you will respond. Step 4. Speak one truth to yourself. Find a Stoic quote, or a personal affirmation rooted in your values, and say it out loud. Not to the world. To yourself. Something like, I control my mind. I do not control events. I choose my response. Do this every morning for 30 days. You will not recognize the person you become. Crosswords Part 3. Choosing your mental diet. Epictetus said, be careful to whom you associate with. It is human to imitate the habits of those close to us. We spend enormous energy thinking about what we put in our bodies. We count calories. We avoid junk food. We drink more water. And yet most people give absolutely no thought to what they put in their minds. They consume hours of negativity, drama, and comparison every single day, and then wonder why they feel anxious, inadequate, and exhausted. Your mind is not different from your body. Whatever you feed it, it grows. Feed it fear, and fear grows. Feed it resentment, and resentment grows. Feed it wisdom, and wisdom grows. Feed it gratitude, and gratitude grows. This is not metaphor. This is neuroscience. The brain literally builds neural pathways based on repeated thought patterns. The more you think a certain way, the easier and more automatic that way of thinking becomes. You are either building pathways of strength or pathways of weakness. Every single day. Your Stoic mental diet. Consume less news. Not because the world doesn't matter, but because most news is designed to provoke fear and outrage, not inform. Limit yourself to 1 or 2 trusted sources, once a day. Read philosophy. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. The Discourses of Epictetus. These are not boring ancient texts. They are survival manuals for the human mind. Read even 5 pages a day and watch your thinking elevate. Audit your social media. Every account you follow is either building you or draining you. Unfollow without guilt. Your mental peace is worth more than anyone's feelings about being unfollowed. Seek out people who think well. Spend more time with people who challenge you, inspire you, and model the thinking you want. Spend less time with people who complain, gossip, and rehearse their victimhood. This is not elitism. This is mental hygiene. The quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. Guard it accordingly. Crosswords Part 4. The Power of Reframing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This is perhaps the most radical idea in all of Stoic philosophy, and the most liberating. Reframing is not lying to yourself. It is not toxic positivity. Reframing is the deliberate act of choosing which lens you use to see your life. Here is a simple truth. The same event can destroy one person and strengthen another. A job loss. A breakup. A failure. A rejection. 2 people experience the exact same thing. One collapses. One grows. What is the difference? Not the event. The interpretation. The Stoics were masters of reframing. When Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, he asked, What can I learn here? When Epictetus was enslaved, literally enslaved, he focused on the one thing no one could take from him, his mind. When Seneca faced exile, he wrote some of his greatest philosophy. They did not pretend the difficulty wasn't real. They chose which story to tell about it. How to practice reframing. When something goes wrong, and it will, ask yourself these questions. What is this teaching me? How will this make me stronger? What opportunity is hidden inside this obstacle? If I knew this was happening for me rather than to me, what would I do next? These questions do not erase pain, but they redirect your mental energy from victimhood to agency. And the man or woman who responds to difficulty with agency, who finds the lesson, extracts the strength, and moves forward, that person becomes unstoppable. Part 5. The Practice of Gratitude as Armor. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude is not a soft practice. For the Stoics, gratitude was a form of armor. Here is why. Fear and gratitude cannot exist in the mind at the same time. Anxiety and gratitude cannot coexist. Resentment and gratitude cannot coexist. The moment you genuinely focus on what you are grateful for, truly, specifically grateful, the negative emotions lose their grip. This is not magic. It is chemistry. Genuine gratitude triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin, the brain's natural chemicals of well-being. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response, calming the body and mind. The Stoics did not know this neuroscience, but they lived the results of it. Marcus Aurelius filled his private journals with gratitude. Not for grand things, but for teachers, for friendships, for the ability to think clearly. The Stoic gratitude practice. Every evening, before you sleep, write down 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. Not generic things. Specific things. Not, "I am grateful for my family," but, "I am grateful for the way my daughter laughed today." Not, "I am grateful for my health," but, "I am grateful that my body carried me through that hard workout." Specificity is everything. Generic gratitude is just words. Specific gratitude is felt. And it rewires your brain. Do this every night without exception. It is the single most powerful habit for filling your mind with positive thoughts, because it trains your brain to notice what is good. And the brain finds what it is trained to look for. Crosswords Part 6. Silencing the Inner Critic. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." There is a voice inside most people that is relentlessly cruel. It says, "You're not good enough. You'll never succeed. Who do you think you are? Everyone can see you're failing." This voice is not the truth. It is a habit. A habit of thought, formed over years of accumulated criticism, comparison, and fear. And like any habit, it can be changed. The Stoics called the undisciplined mind a tyrant. A mind that runs wild, attacking its own owner with fear and self-doubt, is a mind enslaved. True freedom, for the Stoics, began with freeing yourself from your own destructive thinking. How to silence the inner critic, the Stoic way. First, name it. When the inner critic speaks, notice it. Name it. That is my inner critic. That is not the truth. That is a habit. Simply naming it creates separation between you and the thought. Second, question it. Ask, is this actually true? What evidence do I have that this is true? What evidence do I have that it is not true? Most of the time, the inner critic is telling a story, not reporting facts. Third, replace it. Every time the critic says, "You can't do this," replace it with a Stoic truth. "I can do hard things. I have done hard things before. This is one more." Fourth, act anyway. The most powerful silencer of the inner critic is action. Not the absence of fear, but movement in spite of it. Every time you do the thing the critic said you couldn't do, its voice gets quieter. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you win a small battle in the war for your own mind. Win enough small battles, and the war is yours. Crosswords Part 7. Filling your mind with vision. Seneca wrote, "If you do not know to which port you are sailing, no wind is favorable." Positive thoughts without direction are like a fire without a fireplace. Warm, but scattered. Powerful, but wasted. The Stoics believed that a well-ordered mind required a clear purpose. A destination. A vision of the life you were building. Not a fantasy. Not wishful thinking. A committed, deliberate vision, backed by daily action. When your mind is filled with a clear picture of who you are becoming, there is less room for fear, doubt, and negativity. Purpose is the greatest antidote to anxiety that has ever existed. How to build your vision, the Stoic way. Sit in silence for 10 minutes. No phone. No music. Just you and your thoughts. Ask yourself, if I lived fully according to my values, what would my life look like in 5 years? What kind of person would I be? How would I treat people? What would I have built? What legacy would I be leaving? Write it down. Not in vague terms, but in vivid, specific detail. Then, every morning, read it. Not as a wish. As a commitment. You are not hoping for this life. You are building it. One day. One choice. One thought at a time. A mind filled with purpose has no vacancy for despair. Crosswords Part 8. The Stoic Practice of Evening Reflection. Seneca wrote, "I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself." The morning sets your intention. The evening is where you learn. Every Stoic philosopher kept some form of evening reflection practice. Marcus Aurelius wrote the Meditations, private journal entries never meant to be published, as his nightly examination of his own mind and character. Seneca wrote letters. Epictetus taught his students to review each day before sleeping. This practice is transformative, because it closes the loop. Without reflection, the day just passes. With reflection, the day becomes a teacher. The Stoic Evening Reflection, 3 questions. 1. Where did I fall short of my values today? Not to punish yourself, but to learn. To see clearly. To do better tomorrow. 2. Where did I act well, and why? Acknowledge your wins. Not with arrogance. With quiet satisfaction. What you acknowledge and appreciate, you repeat. 3. What is one thing I will do differently tomorrow? One thing. Specific. Actionable. Committed. This practice takes 10 minutes. And over months and years, it produces a mind that is constantly refining itself. Constantly improving. Constantly moving toward the person you want to be. Crosswords Part 9. Choosing peace over being right. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" One of the greatest sources of mental negativity in modern life is the compulsive need to be right. In arguments. In relationships. On the internet. In our own heads. We replay conversations. We rehearse comebacks. We nurse grievances. We spend hours, days, sometimes years, carrying the weight of being wrong. And for what? The Stoics had a radical answer: choose peace. Not because the other person deserves it. Not because what happened was fair. But because you deserve peace more than you deserve to be right. Your mental energy is finite. Every hour you spend in resentment is an hour you are not spending building, creating, loving, growing. The person who wronged you is living their life. You are carrying the weight alone. Put it down. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of strength. It takes far more discipline to release a grievance than to hold on to it. The Stoic chooses peace, not because the world is always fair, but because peace is the soil in which greatness grows. You are the gatekeeper. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Read that again. Your soul, your character, your life, becomes the color of the thoughts you allow to live inside you. Dark thoughts. Dark life. Small thoughts. Small life. Fearful thoughts. Fearful life. But also, purposeful thoughts. Purposeful life. Grateful thoughts. Grateful life. Strong thoughts. Strong life. You are not a passive observer of your own mind. You are its gatekeeper. And today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, you can begin to choose differently. You can choose the thoughts of a Stoic. Thoughts rooted in purpose, gratitude, discipline, and unshakable inner peace. It will not happen overnight. It will take practice. It will take patience with yourself. But it will happen. Because you were not built for smallness. You were not built for fear. You were not built for a mind full of noise and darkness. You were built, as Marcus Aurelius believed every human being was built, for virtue. For reason. For a life well lived. Fill your mind with that truth. Every morning. Every evening. Every time the darkness tries to return. Fill your mind, and watch your life transform. If this video gave you something real today, please subscribe right now. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. This channel is for people who are serious about building an extraordinary inner life. People who understand that real change begins, not with the world, but with the mind. Every week we go deeper into Stoic philosophy, mindset, and the timeless wisdom that helps real people build real strength. I am so grateful you are here. Now go fill your mind.